So we do have the power as individuals.
We do.
Yep.
We could all we could all stop this, and that's why we should.
Yep.
Because of how terrible it is. You just have
totally.
Oh, sorry. We're just trying to save the planet.
Save the planet. Right on.
That's the
Excellent.
whole cause.
Yep. So what do you think?
What?
Well, go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay, so what do you think that we can do to save the planet? What are some of the problems going on that we need to address?
Honestly, corporations.
Sure.
We want to level the power of big corporations and the power they have over everything. We want to talk to politicians and politicians that support policies, good policies like the Green New Deal.
Right.
And we want to remove those in power. I don't know.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. So what is it that the corporations are doing, you think, that is one of the big problems?
Plastic.
Plastic?
That's
Excellent.
the biggest problem.
As you're drinking from your plastic bottle. Yeah, I'm just joking. I tease.
And I felt bad about that. That's all they had.
That's all right. All we can do is just keep being more conscientious, right? Like you guys are saying.
You just have to
Limit our
keep
usage.
Exactly.
Keep thinking about it.
Is there anything else other than plastic that you can think that we fund on a daily basis that might be contributing to climate change?
Animal agriculture.
Excellent. Hey, high five, man. That's a great answer. So yeah, a lot of people don't know one of the main problems with everything nowadays is the animal agriculture industry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with people still eating meat and being omnivoric, but I wish people could adopt more of an eat what you kill policy, as grisly as that sounds. I feel like animal agriculture, they're one of the biggest CO2 emitters in the country and probably worldwide. And I mean, I feel like we should limit their power a bit, and we contribute to it by buying so much meat and other products.
Especially here in first world countries.
Yeah, and I mean, they treat animals so cruelly. So we first I think we should focus on getting cruelty-free animal agriculture first, and then since diminishing it entirely is more of a bigger problem, we can work on that after.
Yeah. So as individuals, do you think that there would be any obstacles in just cutting those products out?
It mainly depends on what we really want as people. You know, you see all of these people oh, I would go vegetarian, but I still want my bacon and stuff like that.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it's great, but you can still contribute to the bigger picture. If you don't want to give it up entirely, that's fine. But limit your consumption of that, because one of the biggest problems is overconsumption. I feel overexploitation of resources, and I mean, we consume so much meat that we don't really need.
So do you think that sensory pleasure, that our taste buds are worth contributing to some of the world's major problems?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah?
I think so. Yeah.
You think our taste buds are worth more? Or you think that that's not a valid justification?
I think that you should, I don't know, we eat so much, too much. It's a lot of, our country's the fattest country. Everyone just eats. But it's because everything's so cheap and they make so much of it.
Right.
If they didn't make so much, and we didn't eat as much, there would be less of the carbon, just because there'd be less want for the meat, and people would just eat other things too.
Yeah, plus we have meat substitutes nowadays.
Yeah,
you taste the same, look the same.
Doesn't even matter. It's such an easy change in your life, and it can do so much for the world. It's really not that hard to just stop eating meat.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Really cool. I don't meet a lot of people that are that open-minded and intelligent, aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
So what do you think would be your biggest obstacle in making that change? Anything holding you back, you think?
No, really, honestly, I could just completely stop eating meat if I wanted to.
Yeah. What about dairy and eggs? You think that would be hard?
Dairy might be harder for me, because I like milk.
Yeah.
It's
Again,
also,
we
it's
like
also
the
bad.
taste.
It's also bad. I feel that too.
Yeah.
I could stop. If it was it's just it has to be a complete need, and it is.
Yeah.
So maybe I should start.
Right on, man. Right on. That's great. That's great. That's all we can do is try to be more, like I was saying, conscientious and make those steps toward bettering ourselves.
The problem.
Exactly.
People just don't care enough now. People just have no care in anything, and it's really bad to think like that. But it's just how our society is. In a way.
I think a lot of people aren't educated too. The animal agriculture does a lot of industry does a lot of work in hiding hiding the truth
Yeah,
from us.
I believe
how
that
these
too.
animals are raised and slaughtered, how bad they are for our health and the environment. So if people know about it, if we're educated, then that awareness spikes and they want to be more
Education
active.
is such a powerful thing.
Yep.
I feel like the food industry as a whole is really bad because like it affects people too, you know, because in my history class we were reading this excerpt. It was from a page that somebody wrote detailing this food industry, I think back in the 50s. It's called The Jungle. Have you ever heard of it? Yeah, it was just some dude's complaint about like the food industry and just how they'll shell out this like ridiculous, like horribly made food that's like been on the floor, you know, not even like real, and how they'll redistribute it to the American populace under the guise that it's actually safe to eat, and they're charging like a lot for it. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how like food companies can have that kind of monopoly over everything and distribute this food to everybody, and it's just like the most horrid food you can think of.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's even a thing. It's weird how we let this happen. It's just, it is not no education. People just they don't think about it. Like, you just go through your life and just don't care about anything.
You just do what you've learned to do, whatever your culture, traditions tell you to do, and then you have to work really hard to break those habits. But once you do, you're free, and then you can start sharing the truth with others. Say, hey, this is really empowering when I realize that my health is better with a plant-based diet, the environment's better, the animals don't deserve this. You know, we can eat plants to get all our nutrients. So then there's no moral justification for taking the life of a sentient little creature that, you know, feels pain and suffering.
I know, and the way that they treat them is the worst.
Right.
Like, just hearing about it, I can't imagine myself being in that position.
No.
Why would I want to put that pain on something else that feels too? Like,
wow.
It's just, I don't know. It's super sad to me.
Yeah.
But like, there's not much we can do, but if we all band together, we can do so much.
Yeah, and all we can do is take individual responsibility, right? So if society as a whole isn't going to go vegan overnight, but if we as individuals start making change, it becomes this sea change, you know, this like fire, this downward spiral, you know, where a chain reaction. Everyone starts, you know, I go vegan, I tell my family members, a couple of them go vegan, they tell their friends, a few more, and it becomes exponential growth. Veganism is the fastest growing social justice movement of our lifetime, of the past 3 decades. So it's not stopping, you know, because it's so important that we actually make those changes in our day-to-day lives.
I didn't realize, honestly, that the meat industry made that much pollution. Like, I didn't realize.
It's crazy.
I believe it. Like, I honestly do.
91% of the Amazon deforestation, 91%, has been for animal agriculture alone. And mainly to grow crops to feed to animals. That's the thing, is we're already producing a ton of plants in the system, but we're feeding most of them to animals to fatten them up and then just chop off their limbs and eat it real quick. It's so wasteful. Meanwhile, we got starving people overseas. Like you're saying, the military goes in and bombs these second and third world countries. They're clearing room of indigenous people for us to put our factories and clear area for farming. It's nuts. It's completely needless too.
Countries are like fighting wars.
That sucks.
All for our taste bud pleasures.
Weight and all that, like all for oil and for power. It's stupid. No conflict should happen between humans for any reason. Especially if it's for like greed. That's like, I feel the root of all. Like, the root of evil in all
Totally. And like you're saying, a lot of people down here at the grassroots, 90 to 99% of us, don't go around violently attacking each other, fighting, starting these wars. We don't vote for these wars to happen. It's the elite few, the top 1 to 10%, that are imposing and indoctrinating these belief systems of violence and self-destructive behavior on us and getting us to go to these wars. We don't have to listen to them.
They're like training us.
Yep, exactly.
They're the ones.
Glorify it so much.
We do, and that's one of the worst parts, is glorification of it. Like,
violence and death.
It makes it like, it builds these people that are just like robots and just kill, and like they get put in these situations that are literally the worst thing you could ever imagine, and they're just living like that, like for days upon days upon days, and they come back to society and they're like broken from this, and they're just on the streets. They like, I know so many homeless people that are homeless people that were veterans, like in my family too. Like, it sucks. It destroys you. It destroys your your mind.
Yeah, and you're right. They get us to like fund all this violence with our day-to-day actions like robots, and we're not even thinking about the consequence of what we're paying for. So when we go to the store and we pay for animal to be slaughtered or for their excretions to be taken from them and forcibly impregnated, like dairy, and then have their kids taken away so we can drink the milk, we're paying for that each time. It's a supply and demand system.
They do that.
Yeah. So we don't like set cows up on Match.com and have them have a romantic evening. Cows only produce milk when they're pregnant, so we have to forcibly impregnate them. We go in there with our fists, elbow deep in their anus, and drop bull semen that we got from jacking off a bull. So we forcibly rape, this is bestiality, we forcibly rape every dairy cow, and they're young, they're like children when they get raped, because we can't afford to raise them to a nice old age and give them free life. So we just rape them over and over and over. Every time a kid is born, we take them away within days and slit their throat. The mothers bellow out for days, sometimes weeks, calling out for their children, because they're very social creatures. They have love, empathy, fear, pain. They're very loving, so they cry out for their children every 9 months, like a human woman. They lactate and they're forcibly re-impregnated. It's insane, and then they die a really premature age.
Why would anyone do that?
Exactly, and it's these people are forced into, these are impoverished people that are forced into doing these jobs. They're struggling as it is, but it's we the consumers that we are paying for it to happen. In supply and demand economy, every time we pay for it, we say more rape and destruction, please. So we do have the power as individuals. Yep.
We could all we could all stop this, and that's why we should.
Yep.
Because of how terrible it is.
Totally. And the egg industry, millions of baby boy chicks are ground up alive every hour. Every hour, a million baby chicks, because they're a waste product. They don't produce eggs. So they're just thrown away. They put it on a conveyor belt and they go into a blender, a massive blender that grinds them up, and they just come out mutilated, and a lot of them still alive on the other end. Millions an hour, because we fund the egg industry. So it's just needless and very dark, sadistic stuff that they get us to do without even knowing.
Yeah,
it's like this bloodshed, worship, death cult type of lifestyle they want us to.
Just education, man. That's all it is.
Yep. Once people know, they're grossed out by it.
Start thinking about it, and then you'll realize.
Yep.
That's all it is, man.
Yeah, killing all the baby chicks. It's morally bankrupt. Like, why would you do that to a baby chick? Not much, like millions of them.
They're cute little yellow fluffy baby chicks they just hatched. It's gross.
Just to eat it. It's like what?
And you don't need eggs to survive. You can get protein from plant sources.
And I mean, it's like stupid because you're whittling away the population of chickens.
Right.
If you keep doing that, like overexploitation. Again, if you have tons of humans eating these baby chicks for their food, I mean, they're consuming a ton of resources right there.
Yeah.
But those baby chicks don't grow old enough to reproduce, So the supply, the demand way overcomes the supply.
And we forcibly genetically modify and breed these animals into existence to be domesticated. We took the most loving, trusting animals, the most calm, obedient animals, cows, chickens, and pigs. They trust us, they love us, they're very subservient, and they trust us. They give us their trust, and we betray them by forcibly domesticating them to be enslaved and exploited. So as we reduce our demand for those products, we're going to just stop breeding them into existence to begin with. So we just need to, it's weird that we pick out one species, we love dogs and cats, but we pick out these other three species, and turkeys and fish, and we forcibly breed them, we genetically modify them, and then forcibly breed them into existence just for enslavement and exploitation.
An animal holocaust.
It is an animal holocaust. It's exactly like that. By definition, it's pretty gross, and a lot of people don't know that there's a modern day holocaust happening. Trillions of animals, 3 trillion animals are slaughtered every year for our taste buds alone.
And what makes it different from a human holocaust? I get that human beings have consciousness and
you can't tell if they have consciousness,
but we're still only just animals on this overarching planet. We should learn to coexist with the animals that surround us.
Exactly.
Instead of running holocausts, trying to murder them for our own consumption. It's ridiculous.
We did it right for so long, but then people we just started mass producing people.
The growth of in my AP Environmental class, we saw this graph of consumption consumption of products worldwide, no, population growth worldwide. And in like the 1800s, the population globally reached like 1 billion, right? And then throughout the 20th century, it would keep going up and up little by little until like after the 1970s when like modern medicine was invented, and it just skyrocketed to the top, and it's like going steeper and steeper and steeper, and like we're already at 7.7 billion.
Yeah.
Well, only being at like what 3 or 4 billion in the 1970s.
Right.
That's ridiculous. That's too huge of a population growth, and we can't sustain our resources on this planet
Exactly.
if we keep going like we're going.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily the number of people, because we know based on science and statistics that if everyone in the world, or even 90%, the majority of people in the world were vegan, we would be able to continue populating at this rate. But it's our lifestyles that are, and what we're consuming, mainly in first world countries, that are part of the problem. That's what's making the population itself destructive.
And I mean, we're consuming so much but leaving so little. So like second and third world countries have to suffer.
Yep,
I feel
exactly.
all lose
Dude,
each
everyone
other.
suffers from that. Just you don't realize
And we're
that
destroying
you're
our health too. They don't even want us to know that we're killing
destroying-
ourselves by eating these products.
Like,
Yep.
it's just these
Everyone
higher,
suffers.
it's these higher up people that are behind all of it. It's these people that we don't even like. I've never even heard of some of like most of the people that are in the government. I don't even know. I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, it's just like, how can you let these people that you don't even know run your life?
Yeah, these puppet masters behind the scenes.
And they're doing all this terrible stuff for no
Right.
reason. And it's like, it is for a reason, but it's the reason shouldn't be what it is.
It's not justified.
It's not justified.
Right.
Like, nothing justifies doing that kind of thing, those kind of things to animals.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
nothing ever
Totally.
could justify that for anyone.
Right.
Like, an animal, if you're gonna kill it, just kill it fast. If we all hunted and our food, instead of like producing it the way we do, it would be so much different. But
Well, we actually find that because of overhunting, there's a depletion of about 51% of our wildlife now, and that's causing climate change issues too.
Really?
We need biodiversity, yeah. And these conservationist hunters are going out there and taking life out of the ecosystem that evolved to be there, you know?
That's
At
true.
least with our food, we're breeding animals that aren't naturally part of nature.
That's true. That's why we
then
have
take
laws
out.
for it.
But yeah, so I know, it's so hard to think. So, and you think about, if we can get our nutrients, if we can be healthy on plants, what justifies then killing a sentient individual who has a mother, a father, they're a brother, a sister, cousins? They're just minding their own business out in the wild. Have you ever seen Bambi? Like, most people grew up watching Bambi, right? Where the opening scene is, the Bambi's mom gets shot in the head by a hunter, and it's like this horrible, dark thing. That we all grew up watching that, but we don't really think about what that really means. That there is no reason for us. These are animals that are sentient, you know? Yeah. And how would you feel if someone was like, "Oh, I snuck up behind him and shot him in the head"? So that'll hold up in a court of law,
You
right?
can think about it like, if you just went up and shot someone else in the head, how would you feel? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
a person.
Yep.
Just like, we're taught that these animals don't have feelings for some reason.
Yeah.
Because we can't tell if they have feelings, so you just think
they don't
they
speak the same language as us. Their skin is
so
different than ours.
You just think that they're not conscious or something, but
Right,
they
right.
probably are. You
Yeah,
have
well, we
no
have
way of
science that
knowing.
shows that they're sentient, that bugs even are sentient.
Yeah.
We have science that shows that plants aren't sentient. They don't show an avoidance of pain. They don't scream when you cut off their limb. They grow a new limb back. So they're actually put here naturally to provide for the
do that.
organisms on the planet. Yeah, whereas animals, they're here to mind their own business and live a free life of love and happiness. So yeah, it is pretty nuts. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Can I give you guys a card to find some more info? I would check out vegan22.com under the health segment there and give it a try. Give it like 22 days. It only takes about 3 weeks to break a habit. So if you give it a try, see how you feel. They'll provide you a free mentor that will answer all your questions about how can I keep eating the same things I'm eating now, pizza, pasta, ice cream, while not destroying the planet and my health. Yeah. I really appreciate you chatting with me, guys. You're very smart, very sweet guys.
That was cool.
Right on, yeah. Have fun today.
Yeah, you too.